What is up, faux reelers? We are back for the Ross Report here for week 5 going into week 6. Trying to get at least started. It's 9:20, so I wanted to at least start it before the Viking game, so I could talk about some of the matchups in that game before it starts. But the video will be out in the middle of the game, so it is what it is. Crazy week for me, so trying to get it in before the game starts. So let's just jump into last week here. A couple cool things happened. Both undefeated teams are no more. Both Niall and Phil lost. Let's look at those matchups here. I think what's fun is who they lost to. All right, let me pop these up here. Well, first and foremost here, we'll start up in the north. You had Phil, again, undefeated Phil, second highest score in the north. Should have been a cakewalk, was favored big. I chose Phil just because it's Eric. But Eric's team showed up, surprisingly. I think surprising to everybody. I mean, Eric actually, showed up. And Eric's in a funny position because he's got me this week, which normally is just a raw butt fucking that he gets from me. But, my team is just fucked with injuries. I'll still beat him, but at least he's got some hope. But looking at last week's game here, matchup-wise, I mean, Eric started Trevor Lawrence, and he won the game starting Trevor Lawrence. That should tell you that Phil's teams didn't show up. Phil had Brock Purdy, only got 17 from Purdy. Really didn't get anything else big. I mean, his kicker was his second highest score. And his kicker only, Brock Purdy only outscored his kicker by 5. So, I mean, Phil really had no chance. I mean, if he was playing Paul in the first 3 weeks, maybe, because Paul's putting up 60 points a game the first 3 weeks. But this week, he didn't put up 90. Eric's squad put up a respectable 120. Usually in this league, 120 is giving you a really good chance to win, especially when the bye weeks hit and some of the injuries hit. So, weeks 5 through 9, 5 through 10, getting close to the playoffs. 120 is going to give you a win, probably 70% of the time. So, breaking down Eric's matchups here, or at least his results, nearly 30 from Trevor Lawrence, his biggest game of the year. Huge game from Drake London, almost 30 points again. Big game against the Browns. Brian Robinson, 2 touchdowns. I mean, that was ugly for me, but good for Eric. I mean, he got a win. Everyone needs one of those. On the bench here, Phil had 15 on the bench, but he lost by like 21, so it wouldn't have mattered. Really start to finish, Eric had him beat. All right, let's stay up here in the north. We'll look at a game that I predicted was going to be a blowout. I was just wrong about who was going to get blown out. So it was Mike versus Jeff. Mike's team showed up, put up nearly 140. Jeff's team, I mean, again, 110 is respectable, especially in these weeks of the year. Baker had a good game, but Joe Burrow had like 5 touchdowns. The Bengals lost as usual. I mean, that's the problem with Joe Burrow. He had a good game, but the Bengals are ass. Which is fun for me, being a fan of an extremely ass team. It's great to see Cincinnati be ass too. It's even better when they have a great game and still get clocked. So, big fan of that. Matchup wise, what hurt Jeff though is that Baker had a big game, but so did Mike Evans, which is who Mike had. So every tutty he threw to Mike actually helped Mike, through to Mike Evans, helped Mike and Jeff. So that there was no separation there. So losing by 30 and then getting 20 of those points from Mike Evans, if you're throwing those to Godwin or someone else, Jeff's right there to win the game. Also Mike got 16 points from his defense, which defenses have fucked over a lot of people this year. A lot of big games from kickers and defenses fucking everybody over, and Jeff got hit with this one. So, Mike by 30 wasn't my prediction, but Burrow showed up even though the team didn't. So, congrats to Mike. All right, and then the last game in the North here was the surprise of the season. Really, you got the highest scorer in the league against the lowest scorer in the league. And the highest scorer in the league, Al, put up 138 points and lost to the lowest scorer, points-wise. Paul gets super. He'll put some fucking gay meme about me sucking dick or something. He gets so salty about his team being bad. But this week, he showed up. outscored the highest scoring team in the league. Put up damn near 150. Ja'Marr Chase, I just talked about the big game from Joe Burrow. That was huge for Paul. He got 36 from Ja'Marr Chase. He got 18 from Ayuk. Again, 16 from Denver. Again, a lot of defenses showing up with fucking people. And then on outside, again, this team put up 130. 8 to 9 times out of 10, he wins. Big game from Thomas Jr. in Jacksonville. But he had a shit game from A-Chain with the Dolphins. Only gave him 2 points. He also, he got 17 from his kicker. Al hates kickers. I think Al, what he should do is, he's been trying to get rid of kickers in this league for years. To prove a point, dude, just bench your kicker. Don't play the political bullshit where, you're outvoted. Just prove us all, just give us the middle finger. Start sitting your kicker every week and just prove a point. That's what I would do if I was you. Instead of getting 17 points every week from my kicker and then complaining about it. So happy to see Paul get the dub. It's a big win for everyone in the North, really, because that knocks Al down a peg and gives Jeff and Mike a chance to really Paul, if you're being honest, to get up in there and try to get that last playoff spot. I think Al's good, but they're one game away from me being super competitive for 3 teams for that third and fourth spot. So that's going to be fun. Hop down to the South. I'll just touch on my game real quick. It was Strawser, so obviously I won, and it really wasn't. The score looks like it was close and it was in question, but it really wasn't because Strawser. Congrats on the wedding, by the way, buddy. 3 weeks later. Had I known, I would have maybe sent you a gift or something. I don't know. It's kind of odd that no one knew, but hey, congrats. Sorry I had to butt fuck you on your honeymoon. Looking at the matchups, though, he's still starting Mahomes. He doesn't have a choice. Let's look at his bench. He's got Caleb Williams on the bench, who's quietly played well the last couple of weeks, playing better as we go. Caleb had 27. Let's do the math. 27 and 14, so a 13-point difference, and you lost by 11. So had you started Caleb, you would have won. But making those secret wedding plans probably fucked with your head. So you made a bonehead play, and you started Mahomes. On my squad really didn't show up. The Amari Cooper thing's really starting to fuck me. He gave me 8 points, dropped a touchdown again. Well, not a touchdown. He dropped. It was about a 5 point. It was probably 35 yards with the yards after catch if he'd have caught it. So there's 3 or 4 points he lost. Could have been a touchdown if the angle was right, but maybe they would have got him. But I only got 4 points from Sutton. Breece Hall's fucked me the last 3 weeks. 5 points from my number 1 running back that I drafted. Kamara with a decent game, 9 points. Got a big play from Brock Bowers, put up damn near 20. That looks like he's going to be my keeper. I got him, I think, in the last round or the next to last round. So good keeper for me. And 14 for my kicker and 14 for my defense. So again, the defense showing up in every game we talked about this week. The moral of the story, though, overall, is that my team really underperformed, and still beat Strawser by double digits. All right, let's go to the next game in the South. All right, so, we'll get that one last. So, the other undefeated team, Niall and Tim. I don't know who's in charge, or I think I know. But Niall and his daddy went in undefeated. Close games, though. I told you that, week 1, I had my chance. Couldn't pull it out. A couple close games for Niall. To his credit, made some good substitutions with some injuries and was able to pull out some dubs that he probably shouldn't have, but not this week. Hubba showed up. Hubba's a solid third. He's behind me. But Hubba is a solid third in the South. I think Hubba's got his team's solid enough, and I think Hubba's gonna be there for that third spot. But he showed up, smacked Niall around, smacked Tim around, gave him the double yabo. Got 41 from Lamar. So the crazy thing is that he was complaining that he didn't start Kirk Cousins. Everybody was laughing. Oh shit, you left Kirk Cousins on your bench, gave you 44 points. Well, Lamar was playing the Bengals, so and some old white bitty bitch ran her mouth at a restaurant to Lamar Jackson, and he literally said, "This is going to be your fault." So thanks to that old bitty bitch, Hubba got 41 from Lamar. They smacked the Bengals, and really, there's nothing Nile could have done because of how much money he got or how many points he got from the quarterback. It was enough to win the game anyways. He won by 28. He got 41 and 44 from both his quarterbacks. So regardless of who he played there, Hubble would have still won. Niles' team put up 107, which again in this time of the year is fairly respectable. He got 22. On the bench, though, he had 22 on the bench from Jaden Daniels, which, again, it wouldn't have been enough, but should have started him over Josh Allen. He got 11 from Scary Terry because, the Browns are getting shit on. Basically, if you have anyone playing the Browns, just play him. There's a real good chance they're going to go off. But other than that, I mean, he got 19 from Swift, 16 again from his kicker, and 11 from Seattle's D. So again, every game we talked about, the defense has showed up, kickers have showed up. But overall, Hub's team solid, top to bottom, played well. I mean, 12 from Kyle Pitts, great game from Kyle Pitts. 25 from DJ Moore, which you've been waiting for that all year. And again, 41 from Lamar was more than enough. So big win for Hub, big win for everyone in the South. I am now one game out of first, which I play Eric this week, so I think we're in a good spot. We'll see. Last game of the South. It was the two last place teams playing each other, and it was ugly for Tyler again. I mean, this is like week 5, and I mean, it's been bad. It's like I gave Paul a lot of shit at the beginning of the year, and it was bad. I mean, Paul's putting up 50, 60 points consistently. It was awful. Quietly, Tyler's been basically doing the same thing, but like 70s, which is, almost identical. So it was Daryl, Tyler. It wasn't close. Last week, Tyler was saved by Sam Darnold. This week, he was sunk by Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold gave him 5. I mean, other than that, his team played fairly decent. Debo didn't. Debo gave him 2. Now, of course, Debo this week started off with a huge game. So, it's one of those things where it's like, fuck, I hate playing Debo because the Niners offense is so weird. I mean, there's so many good Ayuk, can go to Debo, can go to Kittle, can go to Mason. It's just, there's so many options that you don't really want to play Debo, but you have to. And then one week you play him, dog shit. So I don't know if he played him this week or not. I'm hoping he did for Tyler's sake. If not, he might jump off a bridge. But looking at Daryl's team, Daryl was under 100. So, very beatable score. He got 19 from CJ Stroud, 15 from Williams for the Rams, 13 from Connor. And then Kittle had a huge game for Kittle, 16 points. So that was really the difference there. Nothing, big from the kickers or defense in this one. Tyler only got 4 from his kicker, 9 from his defense. So, Tyler did have Jordan Love on the bench, which wouldn't have gave him enough to win because, he lost by 20, 24 actually. But, Jordan Love had 21 on the bench. Let's see who else. So, yeah, I mean, could have put him in the flex. Yeah, so honestly, if he would have started Jordan Love and put Lazard in the flex, he's actually winning the game. So, Tyler just kind of blew it there, not paying attention, running with Sam Darnold, which it's the whole Baker thing. Like, I know Tyler loves Baker, and they tie Baker and Darnold together for some reason. I mean, Baker's significantly more successful than Darnold, but Tyler has always liked Darnold for some reason, even though he's been awful everywhere he goes. He's had a couple good games this year with really good talent. Tyler put his faith in Sam Darnold, and he puts up 5 points, and now you're like 1-5. So ugly, but Tyler, as he put on the little group chat today, is excited. His season actually starts next year. All of our seasons actually start next year when Batman returns. So it's gonna be fun for everybody. So looking at this week, let me just catch you up on the standings real quick before we get into the matchups for this week. Up in the north, it's close. You got Phil, who is 4-1, but he's been outscored by Al by just about 60 points. Al and Mike are both 3-2, and then the fun one's going to be Jeff and Paul, who are matched up. Paul has been outscored by Jeff by almost 100 points, but they're both 2-3. So that last playoff spot's going to be fighting. Eric's done for. His team is decimated. He's got a chance this week because my team is also. I mean, I got fucking Devontae Adams. my team is decimated too. But so he's got a chance to win this week. But that's as far as to go. I mean, his season's basically over. He'll start the fire sale here. He's about 2 weeks away from trading for picks. In the South, it's much closer because of the scoring. Tim and Al 4-1, first place. Me and Hubba both 3-2. Hubba's now outscored me by 12, but we're right there. And then that third and fourth spot, again, 2 and 3, close on scoring. Daryl's at 529. Strauzer's at 519 with his new wife. And I mean, Tyler and Eric are basically the same guy. They should hang out more. They're practically the same guy. Except, Eric's outscored Tyler by 50. So Tyler is basically done. He's going to need Chubb to come back and give him 15 to 20 points a game, every game, to get back. I mean, he's only technically one game out, and one of those teams is Strauzer, so it's very doable. The problem is that Nick Chubb plays for the Browns. So they're just not going to give him the ball. They're going to, triple and quadruple down on Deshaun Watson, and Nick Chubb will get 9 carries for 74 yards. I mean, he'll have 8 yards a carry, but only get 9 carries. I mean, that's a Stefanski thing. That's been going on for years. So while I'm excited for Tyler and happy for Tyler, and I wish I had Chubb on my team to enjoy the comeback, the X factor is that he plays in Cleveland, and that's just not ideal for anybody unless it's baseball. All right, so that's the standings here. So let's look at this week's matchups, and we got some fun ones. All right, week 6, almost halfway there. All right, so we'll start with my game. Just take a quick look here. It's way close. It's going to be way closer than it should be. Normally, I would clap Eric by 30 or 40. This week, I've had some crazy shit. I lost Ramondre Stevens. Devontae's not playing. It's fucking weird. All of a sudden, they're saying that he's going to stay with the Raiders. I don't give a fuck where he goes. Just put him in the game. But he's not playing this week. His backup Myers was also he's doubtful. The game's at 4, and I just I might still get the plane, but right now I'm rolling with Ladd McConkey. My other option was Jerry Jeudy, but just roll back to what I said about being on the Browns. It's just Jeudy can have 1 catch for 6 yards and a touchdown, but there's just no consistency there, and there's just no way I can play 2 Browns. I got to play Amari Cooper. I can't play them both. I do like Jeudy if we can get rid of Deshaun Watson, but until then, and that's why I picked him up, because eventually we got to put in Jameis Winston. Until then, unless Mari gets traded, I'm pretty much fucked on that regard. But need a big game from the Bears defense. The game just started, so hopefully they play well, give me some points. Looking at the matchups, Dak's going to outscore Jalen. I know the Eagles are playing the Browns, so they're going to win. But our defense is still pretty solid. I think they're going to keep Jalen down a little bit. So I do think Dak's going to outscore Jalen. I think Drake London's going to outscore Amari for Eric, so he's going to win that one. But he's got Slayton. He has to start Slayton due to injury. He has to start Antonio Gibson. He has to start Wilson. Last night he had Zeke starting, so he switched it up here. So he's got Wilson for the Packers over Zeke. So he's projected to get a total of 16 points from his running back. I'm supposed to get 30, so that's going to be the matchup. If Breece Hall stops being a fucking pussy, maybe the new coach is going to let him run the ball more instead of this split and carry shit. But if Breece Hall shows up and Kamara shows up, which I think is going to because Spencer Rattler's starting, so they're going to run the rock a lot. That should be enough to beat Eric, but it's going to be a lot closer than I want it to be. So Eric's team just fucked with injury. Singletary out, Robinson out, Neighbors out, Tyreek Hill bye. So this is the week to get to Eric when my team's shitty, which it is right now. So hopefully the matchups work out, and I don't have to fucking get on here and talk about Eric beating me next week. That would be, and I'm potentially in for a triple Yabo, which you never want on the bad side. What saves me is the Guardians. So the Buckeyes choked last night. The Browns are going to get fucking destroyed. Actually, you know what? The Browns, it'll be close, which makes it worse. At least last week by the third quarter, I could run the sweeper and be good with what's going on. I mean, not good. I was fucking irate, but I know it's over. Usually it's oh, we fucking suck. But if we can just get one drive with 2 minutes left, we can win the game. So that's probably what's going to happen with Philadelphia, which is going to make my weekend even worse. And then if I lose to Eric, that is the triple Yabo. But, with the grace of the Guardians, it really doesn't matter. Big weekend for me with the Guardians getting to the Yankees. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Let's stay in the South. Oh, actually, no, we're interconference, so there's no staying in the South. So next game up is Paul and Strawser. And Strawser is, and again, games have started, just now. So the odds are a little wacky because, it's 0-0, so the defense is getting so. But right now, Paul's projected to lose to Strawser by, 7 points. They're saying Paul's only going to put up 87. He got 16 from Geno Thursday, but Strawser got 16 from Walker. So that's where Paul's struggling, is that his quarterback put up what Strawser's running back is. So that's a wash, but it's actually a win on Strawser because your quarterback generally puts up more. He only got 4. Paul only got 4 from Ayuk Thursday night, which really fucked him over. But, the big one is, Jamar Chase tonight. If he can have another big game, that's going to give Paul, because it's Strawser. So if Chase has another, 20-point game, Paul will win, and then we'll really be talking about him in the playoffs, which is fucking crazy considering how I started. Also, he mentioned it last night when I was hanging out at his house. Great pick with Dowdle. Dowdle, however you fucking say his name, got him either last round or next to last round. He is the Cowboys, every down back. I know Zeke's there, but Dowdle's getting all the touches, all the carries, all the touchdowns. So good choice there, Paulie. I do like that you got Brown in there finally. You don't consistently start Chase Brown. I think he's the best of the Bengals running backs. Looking at Strawser, he's starting Trey Sermon, which is a great play this week because Taylor's out. So, that's going to be something that Paul needs to look at. But overall, even though Paul is a dog, I think Paul beats Strawser. I think he beats him by 10. I feel like Chase is going to have a big game. Harrison's due. Laporta, Laporta's good. And then, yeah. I'll take Paul by 10 on this one. I'll give him a double-digit win. All right, next game is Daryl and Phil. Phil again 4-1, but it's a little fugazi. He has been outscored in the North. And I'm going to take Daryl on this one. I think Phil drops the second one in a row. Phil got 30 from Purdy, which he needed, but he only got 6 from Metcalf. But looking at the matchups, C.J. Stroud against the Patriots is going to be a big one. J-Mo's been playing awesome for Detroit, for Daryl. A.J. Brown's back against the Browns. So I think that's going to be, the Browns D is good, but when they're on the field the entire time, eventually A.J. Brown's going to get loose. And, if they put Newsome on him, which is possible, if A.J. Brown is up against Greg Newsome, it's a touchdown almost every play, unless A.J. Brown gets hurt again, because Newsome is that frustrating. I dare you to watch the game. The Browns can be down 20 points. If A.J. Brown drops a pass and Greg Newsome is just in the area, he will immediately start fucking dancing like he did some. It's fucking unbelievably annoying. I do like, let's see here, big 20 points from Kittle, and that's what's really making, putting Daryl away, kind of over Phil overall, is he's already got 20 from Kittle. He's going to have a big game from Stroud. So unless J.K. Dobbins shows up for Phil and has a big J.K. Dobbins game like he did week 1 and week 2, I think Daryl pulls the upset. 2 losses in a row for Phil, and that's going to give someone like Mike or Al to jump up in that number 1 spot. And the way Al's been scoring, he lost this week, but he scored, like 130 points. It's Al's division to lose. So unless Al does the respectable thing and benches kicker. So I'll take Daryl close, but Daryl -7. All right, next one on the list here is Strawser. Nope, we did that one already. Hang on. Scrolling down here. So we got big game for me, interest-wise. We got Jeff, whose team just hasn't been consistent. It's a good team. He just needs to show up. He's going against Nile, and the matchups are there. Right now, Jeff is favored, and I agree with it. Jeff is favored by 7. I think he can win by double digits. The biggest play for Nile, though, is he did start Jaden Daniels this week, but it's against Baltimore. That's where 2 things are going to happen. If Jaden Daniels balls out, it's going to be basically Jaden Daniels is the new Lamar Jackson. He is Lamar Jackson now. He's Lamar Jackson 2.0. He's an MVP candidate, all that nonsense. But you still got to go against the Ravens defense. So that's going to be the biggest play in this game is how well Jaden Daniels plays against the Ravens D. Jared Goff against Dallas is going to play fine. He's going to give you 20 to 25 points. CeeDee Lamb is going to give you 10 to 15 points. So Jeff's team's going to be there. The biggest concern for me with Jeff is I'm not completely sold on Zay Flowers. He's up and down, boomer bust for me. And the Denver running backs, they're not horrible. They're good. There's just the way the offense runs. It seems like Bo Nix either throws it or tries to run for touchdowns at the end, so they do a lot of vulturing. That's the concern for me. But overall, I do think Jeff does the same thing that I just predicted. Niall, who was undefeated, will lose 2 in a row. That's going to put me and Hubba in the driver's seat, which, we both know it's going to happen there. I'm going to fucking smack Hubba around. When I play Niall second time, I think I play him twice. You don't play everyone in your division twice. You play a couple teams in your division twice. But I'm pretty sure I play Niall again. I'll smack him around then, and I'll lock up the division. I should have the division locked up in about 3 weeks. So Jeff's going to help me do it this week. So Lions, I'll take the London Lions -9. How's that? All right, moving down. Again, Tyler, this one's going to hurt because I got to pick Mike, which is just awful for me. And Tyler is favored. That's the other thing that sucks. But he did start Jordan Love this week, which is, smart. He got off the Darnold train. Good for him. And he got 19 from Debo. So going into the game, he's feeling good. He's got 19 from Debo. The matchups are good. The matchups are there. But yeah, Joe Burrow versus the Giants Sunday night, he's going to give you 25 to 30 from Mike. Evans is going to get his 15 points from Baker. This is Jerome Ford's last game as the starter or as the primary carrier. So that's where Mike needs to make it up, is Jerome Ford's got to get some goal line touches, which is not likely, but he will be the one that gets the touches if we get down there. So the good thing for Mike is Deshaun Watson's not throwing a 40-yard touchdown pass, and if he does, he'll get called back for holding. So he's going to get down in the red zone maybe once or twice today, and that's where Jerome Ford's going to get a touchdown. So I expect Jerome Ford to have probably his best game of the year, just because it's the last time you'll see him. He's going to play hard. He's going to give you 15 points. Hubbard played good last week. I think he plays good again this week. And then the flex play is where the big difference is. Mike's got St. Brown, and then Romeo Dobbs for Tyler. So that's the big discrepancy there. So hate to do it. I will take Mike. It'll be close, though. Right now, Tyler's favored to win by 11, but I think Mike wins by 4. And the last game this week, again, big game for me. This is where I need Al to show up. It's Al Hubba. Al is actually a dog right now. Yahoo, as we're sitting here at 9:48. Yahoo has Hubba at 103.36 and Al at 103.22. So it's going to be a dogfight according to Yahoo. Again, the big thing is Lamar Jackson. If he gives you 25, it's a close game. The Al ekes out. If he gives you 40, he wins. And that's kind of what it goes down to. Looking at the matchups, Hubba has to have at least 10 points from DJ Moore to have a chance. He's got to have 1 touchdown from DJ Moore. It can be, 6 catches for 38 yards in the touchdown. If he does that, Hubba's got a chance. If it's less than 10, I don't see a path for him. Mixon's questionable. So even if he plays, is he going to play a ton? That's the other thing that hurts Hubba. And then, Koo's going to have 15 points again just because it's Al hates kicker. So, I need Al to win. I'm going to take Al. I think it's going to be close. I'll take Al by 2. But Hubba is playing the Browns defense. So, yeah, I'm going to take Al by 12. So, those are the matchups this week. Fun matchups. The North-South's always fun. We'll start getting closer to the playoffs. And just to remind everybody, I know, Tim, you were in the league before, but the way we pay division winners is not strictly off overall record. It's by division record. So, if, Tim, you're fucking, 11-1, and Hubba's 10-2, but he's got a better division record. You'll still be the number one seed in the playoffs, but he will win the payout. So for those that forget, that's how we do it. It's off division record. So it's going to start getting interesting with these interconference matchups because it really doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really affect. It affects your overall record, which is the playoffs. But really, these games, as fun as they are, what's fun about them is, Hubba can reel off 3 in a row against the North, and his record looks fucking great, but he's still losing the division payout, which is what I think is fun about it. So, last thing I got for you today is Mandy cooked up a pretty good little parlay. It's 5 to win 250. There's a boost out there. So 5-leg parlay to win 250, $5 to win 250. So basically 50 to 1. And they're not horrible. I will tell you though, she picked the Lions because she thought Baker's been playing well all year. That actually happened. I said, babe, Baker has never played for the Lions. Sure he does. No, he's never played for the Lions. She did decide to keep the Lions, although she thought Baker was playing. But when she realized he played for the Buccaneers, she said, you know what? He has been playing well, so I'm taking the Buccaneers too. So here's her 5. Or her pick 6. I'm sorry. It's a six-leg parlay, 5 to win 250. These are straight money lines, no odds. Bills, Broncos, Lions, Colts, Bucks, Texans. She doesn't do any research. She tells she does research. Again, she thought Baker played for the Lions. But these ones, I'm like, okay, the Broncos is an upset. Colts technically is an upset. They're dogs, but I like both those plays. So of the ones she's done, this is the one that's the most interesting because I think she has a decent chance. And the payout's awesome with the boost. So again, 5 to win 250, 245 is really what it is. But I'll take that all day. So if you got $5 to spare, runner picks. Be fun if everybody won here. So that is it for this week. Until next time, keep it faux real, faux life.